Welcome back to Orange Hat Reviews, everyone. Hope you're all having a wonderful day. I want to go over the reasons why I didn't enjoy this Rise of Skywalker. And this will be the spoiler discussion, or spoiler video, of my review, which was spoiler free. And it will be a rant as well. One of the things that I take the greatest interest, or the greatest, shall we say, issue with, is this entire saga has been undermined. Everybody says that the future of the Jedi is Rey, and that she is the most powerful Force user and whatnot. When the Skywalker saga, as they call it, is completely undermined. You see, the hero is not a Skywalker in this new trilogy. This Skywalker the Skywalker saga was episodes 1 through 6. That's it. For them to call episodes 7, 8, and 9 Skywalker saga is a lie. Because Rey is a Palpatine. And I'm sorry, but not even that makes sense. For her to say that she is a Skywalker is not only a spit in the face of all fans who enjoyed Star Wars since its creation, and since their own creation back in the 80s, me being my own, or my parents' creation. Anyway, I've enjoyed Star Wars for almost 33 years. I'm going to be 35 in a couple months. And I've enjoyed it since I was 2 years old. For Disney to disrespect George Lucas's legacy is something that I do not enjoy. Not only did they completely undermine Anakin's sacrifice in Episode 6. Palpatine is alive. He's not a clone. And the reason they gave for him still being alive, the dark side of the Force is a pathway to many abilities, some considered unnatural, is bullshit. That is not a satisfying enough reason or explanation for the fact that he is still alive. Also, raising 5,000 Star Destroyers out of the ground when he's in a weakened state. Yeah. How does that work? How does that work? Leia is retconned and now received Jedi training when she had absolutely no indication of Jedi training except for that she felt the Force and she could feel in the Force when things happened to her and she could use the Force, yes. But there was no indication that she was ever trained in Episode 7 or 8. The fact this whole be with me thing felt silly. Where she's trying to call on all the Jedi of times past to speak to her. Be with me, be with me, be with me. Took her whole freaking movie, and I'm guessing they did it out of sheer fucking pity. It's like, fine, we're with you, Jesus, just kill the bastard, will you? We'll lend you our strength. When did Ahsoka Tano die? We are at a point in this new mythology, this new Disney canon, where Ahsoka is dead in Episode 9 because her disembodied voice is speaking through the Force to Rey. But in all of the canon that we have so far from Disney, we have no indication that she died. None. Did she die from old age? I mean, it was Ashley Eckstein. She's not that old. I mean, seriously, let's see here. Alexa, how old is Ashley Eckstein?
Ashley Eckstein is 38 years old. She was
38 years old. Thank you, Alexa.
Ashley Eckstein
Shush.
is 38 years old.
So she's 38 years old. Now, I know that they could do whole aging things and whatnot, but when did Ahsoka die? When did she become one with the Force? Also, when a person becomes one with the Force, when they die and become one with the Force, they fade immediately. Yes, there are things in the EU Legends where they didn't, but here's the thing. And yes, they didn't, or when Qui-Gon passed on, I'm guessing he learned it after he died. Because you never actually see him as a Force apparition unless you count the Mortis trilogy in Clone Wars. You see, there's a lot of things wrong with this movie. And another thing is, Poe and Finn are both basically trying to express their love for Rey. Finn, more than most. But Poe seems to have a love-hate relationship with Rey, but he still also likes her. I mean, it's as plain as day, folks. They're fighting with each other. They were friends in frickin' episode 7 and 8. They got along. There was a good dynamic. And now they're basically fighting over who gets Rey's, or who gets to be getting it on with Rey. Not that any of them do. I mean, they also made Poe Force sensitive. That's a good thing. But it's a little too late. So yeah, there's that. I mean, he can actually feel things. Why didn't he feel anything when Luke died? Why didn't he feel anything when Rey was being tortured in episode 8 by Snoke when he was forcing her way, or his way, into her mind? Why didn't they have any sort of indication that he was Force sensitive in episode 7 or 8? They didn't. They cucked Finn. Basically, it was shown that he had a crush on Rey, and Rey kind of did have feelings for Finn. But in the end, what do? They fucking pander to the people who had rape fantasies about Kylo Ren and Rey, those Reylo freaks. They pander to them. Basically saying, yeah, she was in love with Ben Solo, not Kylo Ren. And it's shown throughout the film where she had feelings for Ben, but not Kylo. They're the same person, but different, I guess, in some twisted logic. Good to have Harrison Ford back. I mean, kind of like a memory vision kind of thing. But hey, he's not a Force Ghost, so that's good. That is good. The effects for Force Ghost Luke and Force Ghost was when he was talking with Rey. Not very well done. He didn't give off a Force Ghost vibe, so to speak. Where Obi-Wan in episodes 5 and 6, they should have copied that technology. But no, they had to update it to make it look like all different cool Force Ghost thing. And when exactly did they introduce Force Ghosts being able to influence reality? Except for episode 8, of course. Which still makes no shred of sense. I mean, yes, they can sit on rocks and stuff like Obi-Wan Kenobi did in Return of the Jedi, but still, that was basically all they could do, which was still exist in the world around them. But I don't think that they could use the Force to do things because they never did. So why did they start with that? Luke pulling out the X-Wing. Frickin' Rey can stop a damn ship and then suddenly shoot lightning out of her fingers. Hey! Palpatine, there you go. Now, here's another thing, folks. you had all, or Palpatine being the whole zombie-eyed thing. I already said it undermined Anakin's sacrifice. He was atomized in Episode 6. Atomized. How is he alive if he is not a clone? How is he alive if he is not a clone? The writing in this movie was atrocious. Suddenly, Rey can do all sorts of things. She is a Mary Sue, folks. I'm sorry, that's the truth. She is a Mary Sue, and there's no explanation for why she is as strong as she is. Her being a Palpatine. Okay, she's a Palpatine. She can do things. She never fucking learned how to do these things. She never learned Force healing. When she heals that snake worm thing. But hey, who cares, right? They never, oh man. This dyad thing, where you basically take a lightsaber, and I'll just use this, my one little pain med here. Lightsaber behind the back, and gone. Really? This whole dyad thing where you're able to manipulate the reality through the Force when around, or when you're talking to each other through the Force and whatnot. Light speed skipping? What is that? No human pilot without the Force would be able to do that. But hey, suddenly this hotshot spice runner named Poe, yeah, Spice Runner, he does these light speed skips. I thought it was established that if a proper course was not plotted, it would be very dangerous to do. Well, to hell with that. You got C-3PO, who is being treated like crap by Poe throughout the frickin' episode until he finally gets his memory wiped, and he's taking a look at everybody, and they're like, "What you doing there, C-3PO?" "Taking one final look, sir, at my friends." They treated you like crap, 3PO. Why are you calling them friends? So then, yeah, Force draining is, they finally canonized that, where you could drain the Force out of others, which was something that the Jedi Council of the Old Republic, Knights of the Old Republic game did to Mitra Surik, the exile. They stripped her of the Force, or actually they stripped Kreia of the Force, and they also, and Mitra stripped herself of the Force, that's right. But yeah, they were going to cut her off from the Force, though. Yeah, that's where that went. But Palpatine can do it, and then he gets so juiced up when a million ships that Lando suddenly frickin' brought into the battle. I mean, I could have understood like 100 or so ships, but it looked like he brought in like well over 2,000 or more ships. Actually, I think more like 10,000, but yeah. So, Palpatine explains a little bit of the dyad thing while sucking the juices out of, or sucking the Force juices out of Kylo or Ben and Rey. So then he gets super juiced up, and he starts using the Force lightning to fry the fleet, or the enemy, or the rebel fleet. And then, when Rey gets her last-ditch boost effort from the Jedi, or from the disembodied dead Jedi that came before, they allow her to hold back Palpatine's full blast of Force lightning with one hand. When Mace Windu was deflecting it in Episode 3, he had both hands on his saber to hold that lightning back and reflect it. But when it's being blasted at Rey, he's going full on out. And she's doing it with one hand. Yeah. And I am all the Sith. And she's like, and I am all the Jedi. Did you seriously just steal that from frickin' Avengers Endgame? I am inevitable, I am Iron Man. Hello, people, if you're not paying attention, you should be. They stole that from Avengers Endgame. No creativity! Oh. Then she buries their lightsabers at the end of the movie. Before I go there, she's doing the cross of blades at Palpatine to push the Force lightning back at him. And he's getting fried. But you'd think with somebody who's getting fried while they're throwing out Force lightning, and it's their own Force lightning frying them, you'd think they would stop! Wouldn't they? A logical person would. Why didn't Palpatine? He's supposed to be the most powerful and smartest and cunning Sith Lord. He's a freaking idiot if he allowed himself, or if he freaking fried himself. Hello? And before any of you say that, well, he did want Rey to kill him. No, yeah, he did. During the ritual. But when he got super juiced and reinvigorated and healed and whatnot, so he wasn't looking like Zombie Palpatine, or Palpa-Zombie as other people call him, or Zombatine or whatever. When he was super juiced, he didn't need her anymore. He was willing to kill her. So yeah. And then frickin' the whole dyad thing. I mean, I think even Kylo Ren or Ben Solo or whatever, when he pulls out the saber and they're all looking at him and he's like, yeah. I think he's basically doing a call out to how ridiculous that is. Magic is not the same as the Force. And Houdini switch shit, no. Just no. But yeah, she dies of Force exhaustion or whatever after she beats Palpatine. And then he gets up out of that frickin' pit that Palpatine flicked him in. And then he transfers the Force to her. Or transfers life to her, all of his life to her. And then as he fades away, because apparently if you're a Skywalker, you automatically get to be a Force ghost. Or become one with the Force. I guess that is a thing. Also, Leia later on becomes one too at that same frickin' time. How does that work? But hey. I guess if you're really strong in the Force, you could choose when to fade away, right? It's just ridiculous, folks. It truly is. But the thing that pissed me off the most was how they undermined the way that they undermined the whole trilogy, and I touched on it earlier, is when she claims to be a Skywalker. Who are you? Nobody's been here in ages. I'm Rey. Rey who? I'm Rey Skywalker. No! Fucking no! Fuck you, Disney. You do not get to make that claim. This movie's title made no sense. This movie made no sense. If you turn your brain off, you can enjoy it. But Star Wars movies are not movies that you turn your brain off to watch. If you enjoyed this movie, I'm not going to fault you for it. I'll agree to disagree with you. That is the mature thing to do. But as a person who has loved Star Wars for over 30 years, I'm sorry. I'm going to take issues with something that was bastardized and mutilated. And I believe that Disney has done that. There is a video from Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers on the Geeks and Gamers channel. I will link it to the description of this video that clearly proves that Disney disrespected George Lucas and Kathleen Kennedy disrespected George Lucas in very, very horrid fashion. And I also implore you all to watch that video as well, if you haven't already. Because the thing is, folks, that video goes into depth about how George Lucas gave them treatments, and yes, even said he would work on the script for 7, 8, and 9, but Kathleen Kennedy lies, saying he never did. Yeah. So, that is covering the stuff. Those are my issues. I mean, well, there is one more thing that many people would probably consider pandering, with the lesbian kiss in Star Wars, where at the end, when they're all celebrating, you have 2 women kissing. I didn't have any problem with that. I mean, yes, there's gay Mandalorians in the frickin' EU Legends. So I have no problems with gay characters. The only thing that kind of was odd about it was the fact that, if I remember correctly, the character that introduced Holdo is kissing a woman who is 30 years, maybe, younger than her. Young enough to be her daughter. That's kind of disgusting. I'm sorry, folks. That's disgusting. And you pandered to the Reylos, man. I will never forgive Disney Star Wars for pandering to the Reylo freaks. These people harassed Adam Driver and his wife. Tried to get Adam Driver's wife to divorce him so he could be in, or so he can get together with Daisy Ridley in real life. That's not how it works, man. Freaking Star Wars is make-believe. But it's make-believe with rules. And Kathleen Kennedy and Lucasfilm broke all the freaking rules with this new trilogy. Now all of a sudden, the big hero of the whole Skywalker saga is no longer Luke and Anakin, or Anakin rather. It is freaking Palpatine's kid, or grandkid. You undermined the Skywalker saga. It's no longer the Skywalker saga. It's the Palpatine saga. Yeah, folks, it's the Palpatine saga. So yeah, those are my issues with this freaking show. Or movie, rather. Sorry. I am that pissed off that I'm actually making little mistakes. So yeah, folks, that's the video. Those are my issues with the Rise of Skywalker, and like I said, it is a rant. They disrespected Star Wars. They completely delegitimized the original trilogy and their own trilogy. It makes no sense. Anyway, folks, yeah, that's the video. Y'all know the drill. Like, comment, subscribe, share, all that jazz. Let me know what you thought about the Rise of Skywalker movie. Hey, if you liked it, I am happy that you liked it. Truly I am. If you enjoyed this movie, I want you to enjoy this movie. If you enjoyed this movie, great. I'm not going to fault you for it. But do not expect everyone to like it. Especially those who have paid attention to it. To how Disney, behind the scenes, has been treating fans who take a little bit of issue here and there. But when we actually raise our voice to say something about the small issues that we took with movies, or with the sequel trilogy, we get blasted from Disney and called toxic. And we get called trolls. And we were blasted by the media being called freaking Russian bots. So yeah, the media owes us an apology. But I'm not going to hold my breath. Anyway, folks, yes, that's the video. I already did my outro. This has been Orange Hat Reviews. Rant over.